Hello, my name is Blake Silvio. This is my pest analysis presentation of Mexico for Professor Rafael Romero's multinational management course. A pest analysis stands for political, economical, sociocultural, and technological. We will go over all of these different segments individually to determine whether we would invest in either a new company starting a business in Mexico or whether we would invest in a company that already exists. In order to feel comfortable investing in another country, first we must understand how their country differs from ours. Politically, Mexico differs from the United States in that they only allow a one-term presidency election with no re-election, also no vice president. Currently, their president is Andrés Manuel López Obrador, who was elected in 2018 on a one term of 6 years. Their government is like ours, where it's a multi-party democracy separated into 3 different branches of government, theirs being the federal union, the state government, and the municipal government. Continuing the political aspect, we'd like to look at the pros and cons of Mexico. Doing business in Mexico on the political front can be sort of risky. So the pros of doing business in Mexico are that they possess great relationships with other countries, including the United States and Canada, and they are also the first Latin American country to have an economic partnership with the EU, which speaks volumes for their ability to make relationships with other countries and do business, and to know that they're friendly doing international business. Some of the cons of doing business in Mexico are the high level of corruption and the history of violent crime that we see on TV all the time with the cartels and the different pressures of the corruption and bribery caused by the gangs and the violence. These issues add to their overall weak score of political stability. There's an index that ranks minus 2.5 being the weakest score to positive 2.5 being the strongest score. Mexico ranks at 157 out of 194 at a minus 0.85, where the average is only a minus 0.07. So this is sort of very troubling when it comes to the risk of doing business in Mexico, but we'll have to see in the rest of the analysis to see if there's something to outweigh that risk to offset it and make you want to do business in Mexico. Up next is the economical portion of the PEST analysis, which may be the most important part of doing the business. You find out whether you're going to be profitable in the economic system there. Mexico is a mixed economy, which is part state-owned, mostly free trade. Mexico has very little restrictions regarding trade, so they're actually one of the most open economies in the world. They are a member of the WTO, which is the World Trade Organization, which has allowed for trade agreements such as the USMCA, which follows the NAFTA. USMCA stands for United States, Mexico, Canada Agreement, which helps build partnerships and trade agreements between the 3 countries of North America. Mexico has withstood a very slow but stable growth. They, just like the rest of the world, struggled with contraction in 2019 and 2020 due to the COVID-19 pandemic, but have since grown back into the growth phase in 2021. The top 5 trade partners for Mexico are, as we said earlier, the United States and Canada, then also China, Taiwan, and Germany, due to the high output of automobiles. Okay, as far as exporting and importing, Mexico has 13 different trade agreements across the world that spans 50 different countries. Their top imports are electrical machinery, computers, vehicles, mineral fuels such as crude oil, and plastics. Oil and gas is actually the fastest growing export in Mexico due to the growing business there. The top 5 exports in Mexico are vehicles. They have several different automobile manufacturers in Mexico now, Toyota being one of the ones that just moved to Mexico from San Antonio, Texas. Number 2 is electrical machinery. Number 3, computers. 4, mineral fuels such as crude oil, and then medical equipment. Next up is the S in the PEST, which is sociocultural. This is important because it's critical for managers to understand the difference between a simply domestic business and an international global business. It's important because you must learn the people that you're going to be dealing with, the people that you're going to be doing business with, the people you're going to be selling to. And Mexico is no different. It's the second largest population and economy in Latin America. It's the largest population of Spanish speakers in the world, but they also have 12 million different indigenous people speaking over 60 different languages. Mexico is strongly divided by class and education, with a very small middle class, which causes a very large population of poverty and poor people with no jobs, lack of education. There's an estimated population of 129 million people in Mexico, 70% of which are Roman Catholics. There is no official religion in Mexico, but Roman Catholicism is far in advance the number one religion in Mexico. Only thing bigger to people in Mexico than religion is their family, which puts pressure on most people to put the family interest above their own personal interest, which can cause for an obvious friction. There's a shockingly low average income of $8,480 per person, which causes the extreme widespread poverty. You compare this to the United States, which averages $66,000, and you can see the difference in the incomes and the lifestyles that we live here versus the ones they live there. And you can see how this causes people to revert back to the gang and the violence and the bribery and corruption just to try to get ahead in life. This is just a few of the things that we deal with in the socio-cultural context of Mexico. Lastly, the T of the PEST is technological advance or development issues. So Mexico, technologically wise, are right on par with the rest of the world. The issue with Mexico is the education, which we spoke about earlier, causing the poverty and the disconnect between Mexico and the rest of the world. Most of the schools' books are 10 to 15 years out of date, causing the students to not get the education and the materials they need to advance as far as the rest of the world. There is good news in the technological world here, though, is that Guadalajara is becoming a tech hub, almost a Silicon Valley of Mexico is what it's being referred to, which is a great opportunity for growth and advancement for companies wanting to invest in startups, and it can offer plenty of growth potential. In conclusion, Mexico has great opportunities for advancement in technology, growth potential in the oil and gas business, growth potential in plastics business. The automobile industry is booming in Mexico with the trade agreements with the United States and Canada ensuring the partnerships going forward there. The only issue that we could see in Mexico is the instability and the corruption due to the gangs and the government. So if that were to have any sort of assurance, if there was any sort of insurance in my investment, I would have no issue investing in Mexico. I think I would definitely enjoy and seek out investing in Mexico, but I would be concerned about the potential havoc caused by gangs and the lack of stability backing from the government on my business.